Erica, mute your phone. Yeah. I can never get the intro to actually play.
And that is funny because when I call in, the intro will play.
But be that as it may, just pretend you hear somebody walking down a long, hollow hallway. Good afternoon, I, and everybody else out there in Webland. This is yours truly, Jalal Tariq, with episode number 23 of the UI Daily Show. And today is Friday, September the 19th, 2014. And I have been blessed today and been lucky today to have as my two co-hosts, because we are equal members, our two co-hosts, my partner Terry Banks and my girl UI Jane. Can everybody say hi to the people?
Peace and blessings to the family out there and to those who are listening for the first time. We appreciate having you on our show, and we sure hope that we can bring something positive to the table and give those who are listening an opportunity to think about what it is that we're trying to do.
Erica?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, I had to unmute my phone. Yes, this is UI Jane, and as usual, I'm coming to you, letting you know about the membership. It's $2 a month or $24 a year. You can go to www.urbanintellectual.com/donate or a membership if you would like to donate or become a member.
And that being said, the revolution will not be televised, but it must be funded. I think I'm going to put that on a T-shirt or something like that. Hey, that's an idea we need to pass to Jackson. In any event, topic number one. Well, first, before I get there, let me let you guys know, those of you people who are logged on at your computers, we have a chat function right in the middle of the page. So if you have questions, you have comments, if you can't hear someone, hit us in the chat box. And let us know how we're doing. Or, if you have a question that you want to pose, you can pose that question in the chat box as well. Now, topic number one. There was a post on the open discussion page concerning the advent of black-owned businesses in Detroit and how it's spurring urban renewal in that city, but nobody's talking about it. As a matter of fact, I remember a CNN report, I think it was. I know it was a major news outlet that did a thing about how when the media went to Detroit to see how Detroit was doing after the bankruptcy, they had heard about these different programs and people coming together to try and basically do for themselves that was happening in Detroit. If you don't know, Google Detroit Renewal and look at some of the programs that people was in the street doing, just grassroots stuff. But when Anthony Bourdain, I think it was, went to Detroit and was talking about eateries in Detroit, barely saw a black face. And we all know that there are black folks in Detroit. But we're going to keep that on a positive note today. We're not going to get into the reasons why that is, because I think we all know. What we are going to do today instead is talk about those black businesses and can we take those lessons that are being taught in Detroit, which, if you don't know, is one of the most difficult places in the United States to live. Not because of crime, not because of black folks, but because of services. But that's a story for another show. But, Terry, what do you think? You think those lessons can be taught in other places?
Oh, absolutely. The bottom line is Detroit is showing you that. They're taking the lead in this and showing that it doesn't matter if the city is bankrupt. If you yourself have a plan and that plan is solid, you can put that plan into action. What I'd like to do is, for those who don't know anything about the article or do not have access to it, I think it's important to always have the documentation and show other people that you can find the information. This was actually posted on Huffington Post on their Black Voices page, and the article is by a lady named Kate Abby Lamberts. And the article is Black-owned businesses are quietly powering Detroit's resurgence, but no one's talking about it. So the article is actually here for the people, and if you wanted me to, I could actually read that for those who do not have access to it. Would you want me to do that so they have a background as to what we're talking about and why?
I would say don't read it, but you can give them the main facts of it.
All right. The main facts are that Detroit is marking the first anniversary of its bankruptcy filing. And so, of course, people all across the country are watching to see how the city is going to be affected by this upheaval. And so in spite of the fact that you have these issues going on with Detroit, with its violence and the lack of city services and threatening to turn people's water off and that kind of thing, there are still a few people who are doing something in spite of that. And those are those black businesses that we're talking about. And while we think there are only just a few of them, there are actually more than 32,000 in the city, and that's according to the U.S. Census figures from 2007. So this page actually highlights 13 of those entrepreneurs, and it mentions who they are and what the inspiration was for them starting their businesses. So as I read it, I just got the idea that, again, it can be done in any country, any city, any town, any community. It just has to have the person behind it be committed to the idea of bringing the business to fruition and then having the intellectual capacity to bring it all together and make it happen.
Hear, hear. Now, let me ask you another question going on that same line. Do you think that it's more important for that individual to have drive, or is it more important for him to have customers? Because in my view, it's always, we have plenty of good ideas, but we lacking in the skills of making sure that that business or that talent that we provide is actually something that someone needs at a good price. You see what I'm saying? I think what it is, I think it is just as important, if not more so, that the people recognize the value in actually shopping black, as opposed to, I got a good idea, I'm going to come out here and people just going to flock to me. That's not how business works. And that's not how black businesses work, and that's not how white businesses work. There's more to it than that. So that's my question. Which one do you think is more important?
Well, I think they both go hand in hand, because if you don't have the drive, it wouldn't matter if you had the audience, because you won't be able to supply them with what they need. Conversely, if you don't have the audience, you can have the drive, but then who are you driving to? No one. So they both go hand in hand. I think you need to have a solid business plan. You need to know what it is that you want to sell or that you want to offer, and you need to do the research in advance to see, is the audience there? So, again, if I have an idea, okay, I want to start a black radio station, I probably am not going to be successful if I go to some, white community that has all white people who care nothing about blacks, and I'm talking about starting a radio station there. It wouldn't fly. So you'd have to do your research first and find out, is there an audience for what it is that I'm offering? And once you see that the audience is there, then that's where your drive kicks in. And it's actually going to kick into overdrive, because you're going to be so excited that the audience is there, you can't wait to get up and running.
Good points. UI Jane, you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
What do you think? Give me your...
First of all, I am ecstatic to hear that Detroit is not only, have a positive story out there, but it's a black positive story. I honestly think Detroit would be better off than a lot of cities that hadn't hit rock bottom. Because once you hit rock bottom, you only have up to look forward to. So at this point, since they only have up to look forward to, they have the opportunities, the blacks in that community, the country, truthfully, to me, they turned their back on Detroit. So at this point, the black community has the opportunity to build that city up the way they want it to be, from ground up, from zero. They have the opportunity to elect the officials that they want, to start whatever businesses they want to bring in. But I say kudos to those that's out there that have a dream in the midst of being of all the negativity that's going on in Detroit. And it said, hey, you know what? I don't care what's going on with my city. I'm going to live my dream in my city.
That's for sure. And did somebody just beep in?
Yes, someone just chimed in.
It's LT.
Hey. LaTanya Davidson, ladies and gentlemen.
In the Heezy. What's up?
In the Heezy. Have you been listening? Or do we have to keep you up to speed?
I'm just chiming in to catch up.
Okay. Long and short of it is, we're talking about Detroit. And we're talking about, as I didn't even know that, as Terry alluded to, 32,000 black-owned businesses that have sprung up. Well, I won't say all of them sprang up, but they are enjoying unprecedented success, and they are driving urban renewal in that particular city. And my question was, do you think that the lessons being taught in Detroit could be moved to other urban areas and possibly be successful? I'm thinking St. Louis. I'm thinking Atlanta. I'm thinking Charlotte, North Carolina, which has a huge black population as well. All modern cities, all cities that's going through virtually different stages of the same thing. You think it'll work?
Look at the catalyst of it. What had to happen to precede that influx of black-owned businesses was the removal of these huge dominant corporations, right? Motor City. You had corporate. Even Motown became corporate, right? So yes, it will require. It almost requires all the blight and decay created by some of these huge corporations taking away the ability for people to sustain themselves before people can find themselves, and that they have the capacity to provide resources for their community. And I think that it's actually a microcosm for other cities that it is going to be a little difficult when you have Walmart, and all these other huge conglomerates in your region. It's hard to see where you need to be self-sufficient. So Detroit is proof that it requires removal of some of these institutions that have taken away our own ability to survive for ourselves and do for ourselves and be successful doing it. So definitely, I think it could work, but the difference is, the only caveat is that Detroit became blighted, and for all intents and purposes, it became it had to kind of descend into decay before they could realize what they could do with it. I know I said a lot, but I agree. I do think it can happen.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear, though. That's what I always want to hear from my guests. I don't want to just hear you agree. I want you to tell me why you agree. My take has always been along the lines of, as you said, once you took out the financial underpinnings of that city by the major corporations moving out and basically taking all of those peripheral businesses along with them, then the city had nowhere to go but into decay. Because what a lot of people don't understand, they think about General Motors, they think about Ford, and they say, okay, well, they're nothing compared to what they were back in the 1970s. Or the 1960s or prior to that. But what a lot of people don't realize is that those major corporations, they employed gobs of people, but they also made it possible for the supporting businesses to actually employ gobs of people. I'm talking about the people who make the tires. I'm talking about the machine shop who make the rims. You see what I'm saying? General Motors don't make that stuff. They part that stuff out. So when General Motors go, what happens to your business? Well, I got to pick up and move somewhere else and try and do something else, try and sell something else. And that created that vacuum that they were able to step into and say, okay, well, ain't nobody around here going to do for us like we going to do for us, so we might as well take this opportunity right now. We don't have that particular circumstance that exists in other large cities. They're not clustered like the American Northeast and Upper Midwest. They're not cloistered around manufacturing jobs. They're a little bit more nimble in being able to employ an actual workforce. My thing about taking those lessons and moving them to the hood is that, hey, look, everything that you buy from Walmart, you can buy from us, but you have to make the price right. And, yeah, we know in economics, whoever got the biggest pocket can buy the things for the cheapest. That may be all well and good, but we must convince that population that who we are serving and selling things to. We need to convince that population that it is in their best interest to spend their money with us, because this money is moving around the neighborhood. It's not just going straight to Bentonville, Arkansas. It's not just going straight to Illinois where Sears is headquarters. It's not going back to Arkansas where Costco is headquartered.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Across the street from Walmart.
And the uniqueness of what, I'm sorry, to interject real quick, is that what also where there's that vacuum, as you said, is that we have the capacity to provide unique perspective on what black people need, what we actually buy, and our own unique talents as, entrepreneurs, for whether it's from jewelry making to, being a mechanic or something, tapping into our own talents and then being able to provide that. So someone doesn't have to go to Walmart Tire and Lube, and as you say, providing the right price point so that people can afford it and be willing to come and support your business. In case in point, today I go to my favorite black-owned business. The person sells, raw shea butter and fragrances, essential oils and things like that. I can't get that at Walmart. I can't get that, at the mall. I can only go to this particular store to get the things that I need, and I always go back. I'm always going to support her, not only just because she's a black-owned business, black business owner, but because she provides something that's very unique to even me as a black woman, and I can't get that anywhere else. And that's something else we need to keep in mind, as we keep trying to harp on getting people to tap into what it is that we're trying to establish. You have the talents, you have the knowledge, and we'll come and we will support you. It's just got to be set up.
And you made another good point. Most people who go to the Walmarts, who go to the Costcos, who go to wherever you might shop, whatever your big box retailer is, you go there and you get the same exact things every time. Most of the time, you're not going over there to buy the cheap, office furniture. You're not going over there to buy the cheap, thin towels. That's for other people. You're going in there to get certain things. All we're saying, or all I'm saying, let's put it like that, all I'm saying is buy that type of stuff from your people. And you go to Walmart for things that your people don't carry. Mm-hmm. That way you help yourself as well as help your brother or help your sister, be that as it may. We could do toes. We could do nails. Everything that you go to Walmart to get, everything that you go to the Koreans to get, you can get from us. Everything. But there also has to exist that middle level, because those hair weaves, they have to come from a supplier. Where are our suppliers? I often say that. We have retailer. Our business landscape is just retailer after retailer after retailer after retailer after retailer. Nobody manufactures anything except, the lady with the small shop that makes her own shea butter, or maybe she might do textiles or something like that. But, for the most part, we don't have anybody that supply the things that even those artisans need to make their product. Right. Because they have to buy their things a lot of times from businesses that's not owned by us. We got to stop thinking bigger than the storefront. start thinking bigger than our hood, start thinking bigger than the few blocks around, wherever we want to locate our business. We got to start thinking bigger than that. Eric, Jane, you've been kind of quiet. You got to jump in. We sharks in the water.
Yeah, I agree with you. The next thing that we need to focus on is becoming suppliers. Black people, we are definitely the biggest consumer without producing anything that we consume. It's going to take a while, and it's nothing easy. But as I was looking up black-owned businesses, there's one black-owned company, a black man. We supply car parts to GM. And I'm betting a lot of people didn't know this. He started off, of course, working for GM, but he's the supplier. He supplies the parts that GM needs to put those cars together in Detroit or wherever manufacturing companies or cities that GM has to manufacture their cars. So at the end of the day, if this man could come up with a way to, first off, he worked for them, and then he came up with his own, hey, you know what? They have to get these parts from somewhere. I'm going to start supplying these parts. There are a lot of black-owned companies, but again, we have to supply on. And I know, for me personally, I know a lot of black people that do the shea butter and the oils. We need to get out of the whole beauty part of it too. We need to start supplying our necessities. We need to produce our necessities, not just on the beauty end of it, the clothes, the nails, the hair. What about the food that we consume? We always complain about the GMOs, but we need to start farming ourselves and opening up our own grocery stores. And if we know our local farmers, we don't have to worry about, what they're feeding the cows and the pigs and the chickens. So this is deeper than just, supplying beauty issues. We have to supply everything or produce everything that we consume. Yeah, that's, we need seamstress. We need to supply our own clothes. This is, again, just something deeper than just, the surface as far as, the beauty end of it. We definitely need to supply our own necessities. That's it. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Be the one to actually bring up the point. And hopefully they'll be able to call back now. And that's hope. At least her or LT. It really doesn't matter. But in the meantime, in between time, let me give you a bit of an overview of what the actual question is, and then I can have Jane clean it up later on when she gets in. Okay. Writer writes into one of our groups, and she has a situation. She has a male interest. Let's put it like that. And he seems nice, but he doesn't have a car. Now, before y'all start in and start calling the sister materialistic, it's not that at all. She is got her own job, her own place, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She's successful. She's interested in the man, but her concern is that there is certain things about him that she doesn't like. But it is what it is. You are going to meet people that there are going to be certain things that you like and certain things that you don't like. That's the way life works. That's how you find out whether or not you really and truly need to be with somebody, by finding things out. Now, this is my issue about this brother. According to her, he has 2 kids. He's divorced. He seems passionate. He has a job. He doesn't have a car. Lives with his parents. And her question is, well, basically, how far she should go with that type of relationship, since it concerns her that this brother don't have a car and this brother does not have his own place to live. And I want to look at it like this. I don't want to say that her concerns are unfounded. I don't want her to think that across the board this will apply in all cases, because it won't. But I would tend to look at the situation like this, in my opinion. For one, the brother, there's a reason why everything happens to us in our life. The brother might live at home with his parents because his father is showing signs of pre-onset dementia. He might live with his parents because his parents are now getting up in age and may not be able to do for themselves like they used to. He may be living with his parents because his parents still live in a dangerous neighborhood. There's many reasons why he might want to live with his parents. He might even want to live with his parents because, hell, living by yourself is expensive. Some of us don't have parents to go live with. And some of those parents are still alive, and you can't go live with them. So everybody's not blessed like that. And it's a tendency amongst some black women to view a brother that doesn't fit their expectations of what he is supposed to have by a certain age and dismiss him as being some type of bum, some type of nothing, when in actuality, the brother might have a felony. If he has a felony, that means, depending on what the felony is, there's certain places he cannot live. Don't make him a bad person, just makes him a person that made a mistake in his life. And a lot of women that will say, hey, well, you ain't supposed to be messing with him anyway. He's a felon. But guess what? There's a whole lot of us in this society. We everywhere. What do you think happens when you come out of prison? It does not make you it makes you an ex-criminal. It does not make you an ex-felon. You're a felon. So that might be a reason why the brother is living at home with his parents. He has a job. I know people who have lived in New York City for 20 years and have never owned a car. Because where you going to park it? Can't afford it. Can't afford a car in New York, most people. And who might that be that just dinged back into my show?
Erica.
Hey! I was just talking about you. I was dealing with the situation that you posted in the group. Excuse me. I had to wet my throat. And I was giving basically my take on it. Can you go just a little bit deeper, since, you know, you were the one who was the initial contact with this individual, so you might know more about it more in depth. All I can do is just, you know, based upon what I saw in the the actual article itself. Can you go a little bit deeper for me?
Okay, yes. This is one of my friends. She's very, consider herself very successful. She has a nice government job, and she makes her own essential oils and scrubs and from scratch. Then she's a makeup artist, and she does photography as well. So not only as far as her having, success in her, business as far as working for the government, she's very successful on her own with her own endeavors. But anyway, she's this guy has been trying to pursue her for a while now. She's been blowing him off, but she hasn't been so lucky in that part of her life as far as relationships. She had been married for a while, and they're divorced, and she's a single mom of 3 kids. And I've mentioned I have a lot of single friends, and we discuss our dating adventures and all of that. And a lot of the friends are saying, this one guy who's trying to date her, he lives at home with his parents, he doesn't have a car, he does have a job, and he has 2 kids. And they're telling her, why would you settle? You're not desperate. Why would you, date someone that stays with his parents and he doesn't have a car, he doesn't have anything to offer you, he's going to leech off of you, he's going to do this. Now, at the end of the day, she's only asking if she should give him a chance to go out on a date. I say there's nothing wrong with going out on a date with him whatsoever. But to take that a step further, I see nothing wrong with him giving her a true shot. But at the end of the day, she has 1 or 2 options. She could either be successful for the rest of her life and be lonely because she's trying to find someone to match her when it comes to materialistic things, or she could find someone that may not have as much as her but can give her his all as far as his heart and love her. And I think a lot of the times where black women go wrong is we're looking for this certain type of man package, a certain type of, and all the time it's not gonna, turn out that way at all whatsoever. I tell people that, and I definitely told her that, she's a Christian woman. If you're a Christian, you believe in the story of Job. What if he's on his side of, the Job side of the struggle, where God has taken things from him, and now he's trying to build himself back up? So it's one of those that I guess her biggest thing is she wants to give him a shot, but the majority of her female friends are telling her no. Like, why would you date a guy that doesn't have a car and stays at home with his parents? But I see it total opposite because, again, she's looking at the materialistic, or her friends are looking at the materialistic things, and we don't live in that time and that day as to, some men are down on their luck. So that's the background of it. I guess she's looking for confirmation as to whether, she should go on a date with him. At the end of the day, I think she wants to give him a chance, but she has her friends, and that's where black women go wrong as well. You have your friends in your ear telling you who you should date and what you should do, when what's for you is for you. Can't no one tell you what's for you.
And that is true. That is true. And I don't know if you had the opportunity to listen to what I was saying before you came on the line, but
no,
basically what I was saying, I'll give you a quick recap. What I was saying was that in a situation like his, she doesn't really know him well enough to know the reason why he's living at home with his parents. His parents might be elderly. They might be sick. They might, need him around for one reason or another, or he might be just trying to save money. Everybody doesn't need a car. Maybe he doesn't commute. I mean, people don't have cars just so they can take out women that they want to date. You know what I mean? A car is an investment. You know what I mean? You got to put gas in a car. You got to insure a car. You got to do all kinds of things with a car. And if you ain't doing nothing but going to work 2 blocks away, you don't need a car. If you don't date like that, you really don't need a car, depending on where you live and what your particular circumstances is. So me, I can't live without a car. Even when I was by myself, I had to have a car, but that's me. I was always on the go. I got adult hypertension deficit, whatever you want to call it. I'm always on the go, And I don't want people to think that we are saying that this particular lady was actually being thirsty. But we're talking about the advice that she was receiving from the majority of her other friends. You see what I'm saying? She was just this is what people are telling me I should do about this situation. And what we're trying to do is give her another perspective, another way of looking at it, and some other alternatives, you know. And what happens a lot of times is that wall, that emotional wall that's between black men and black women in this country is crazy, because everybody is trying to protect their hearts. Women, especially if they're successful, have a tendency of protecting their heart by putting up this shield of success that you can only get through if you are of a certain amount of success. That's fine, but that's materialistic. If that's what you want to do you. But the reality of the situation is that's materialistic. All that can go away within the blink of an eye. Seriously, go away within the blink of an eye. And once it's gone, what then does your relationship have to stand on? Because this is a business arrangement more than it is a relationship with an individual. You know, we see movie after movie after movie after movie. The dude is moving furniture. He meets the woman lawyer. They fall in love. He dates her. They go through the conflict of him not having a good enough job. They overcome it. They kiss at the end, the end. We see it all the time. That happens in real life. You see what I'm saying? Some of the best dudes that you might meet might be dudes that work at Walmart. They might be those dudes that make between $25,000 and $35,000 a year. You see what I'm saying? Just because a dude makes $100,000 a year don't make him a good dude.
Exactly.
You know
what? And this is what I was telling her. One of my best friends, I call her my sister. She's been married for 12 years. And she met my brother-in-law. She met him. They were in the Navy together, and he got out. He went and got his degree, and life happened. She makes six figures. He's the stay-at-home dad. He has his little side gigs or whatever that he does on the side, but he's nowhere near half of that in his income. He's probably at a fourth of that, if that. But when my friend come home from work, she gets massages. The kids are taken care of. She don't have to do those ends of the deal of what she would normally have to do because he takes care of it. She is the financial backbone of their family. And they're 12 years and going. And since the bulk of their relationship, she's been the breadwinner of the family. And I told her, I said, if my friend would have given up on her relationship and her marriage because her husband didn't meet her financially on the same level, she wouldn't be able to say, hey, I've been in this marriage for 12 years. With that being said, everybody isn't going to meet you on the same level. And we as a black community need to get out of that materialistic way of looking. That's holding black families back. There are mates out there that's not me because one or the other are looking at what money they have to bring to the table. And they're not looking at the money side of bringing it to the table so that they can make wealth. They're looking at it so I could be seen in this nice BMW or Mercedes, or so I could get this nice big house in a subdivision. Not how can this person come into my life and we could be a power couple bettering the black community. How can we become together and strengthen the black family? That's not how we're looking at it. We're looking at this out of the wrong lens altogether because we don't want wealth. We only want material things. We don't want to build one another up and strengthen one another up. We only want material things.
And that's true. That is.
And you know what? At the end of the day, she's either going to be well off and lonely, or she's going to find someone to meet her on that spiritual level, emotional level that she needs, but he might not have a six-figure bank account. And again, at the end of the day, sometimes some men, all they need is a little motivation. They need someone that's going to believe in them, to help them. We've gotten so that we don't want to help our men, but, they better come along with everything to help us. That's not fair. And we don't live in those times anymore.
That's true. And I would tell you something else, too. I'll even move it a little bit further. one thing that black women, what I see as a significant difference between black women and white women. Black women are, on average, not as happy being alone as white women. And let me tell you why I say that. White women they can fall back on the luxury of their surroundings. They might miss a mate, but they have extended friendships that go along with being by themselves. You see what I'm saying? When her friends come to get her, they can go places and take her mind off the fact that she's alone. Black women don't have that luxury for the most part. What happens with black women is they wait so long looking for that individual that's going to hit every check mark on that list that you have that a brother got to have in order for you to mess with him. They're going to wait so long waiting for that entire sheet to be filled that by the time they figure out or they find someone to actually fit that bill, they will have wasted 30 years of their lives in utter loneliness because they wouldn't realize what a relationship really is. A relationship has absolutely nothing to do with money. Money don't stop bullets. If somebody kick your dough in, you can have all the money in the world that will not keep you alive. But guess what? That brother in the bedroom might. You see what I'm saying? That brother in the bedroom might. He might keep you safe. That's what his job is to be your protector. He's not here to be your business partner. He's not a equal investor in this business that we call marriage or relationship or whatever the case may be. He is your partner. He's supposed to take that bullet for you. But what if he turn around and look at you and say, hold on, if I take this bullet for you, that means that you're going to lose $2.5 million worth of income. But if he shoots you, I'm going to lose $5 million worth of income because now that's a business decision. You see what I'm saying? We're looking at the business side of this. So what happens then? You see what I'm saying? That means that your money means nothing. Your relationship means everything. The children that you bring into this world, that you raise and you try and send out into the world as responsible adults, they don't give a shit what you and daddy make. And what you and daddy make has absolutely nothing to do with the type of individuals you're going to mold them to be. If y'all both about y'all business as y'all say y'all are, and the reason why, y'all make such a good power couple is because of, y'all business acumen, then why are you turning out these nothing-ass kids? That's got a part of it. That's got to be part of the business plan, too. If any offspring are produced by this relationship, then said offspring shall receive. You know what I mean? They got to be part of the contract, too, if it's a business decision. It's more than that. Like you said, you got to get out of that mindset that in order for me to be happy, I have to be surrounded by certain material things, because that's garbage.
And oftentimes, not all the
time,
time,
get off mute.
Oftentimes, not all the time, we can let our friends allow us to be lonely. Our friends will be the reason why we're alone. Because don't get me wrong, some people give you the best advice, and they sincerely mean it from the bottom of their heart. But like I said, every situation is not going to be the same. Everybody's not going to end up in the same situation. And for that, I don't tell my friends, any of my friends, for the most part, I have like one or two that I tell my personal business to. Only one or two. And with that being said, that's only because at the end of the day, it's not like I'm looking for yes men. I don't look for yes men, but I try to steer away from if I know something negative is going to come all the time. Because all the time, everybody's not going to give you the best advice. They're giving their best advice as far as their situation. But sometimes you got to look at it as if all they ever known is for black men in their lives to be negative. If everything they got to say about black men is negative, then you don't get relationship advice from them. They always got to say the N word ain't Don't take your relationship advice from them. Because and this is what I tell my friends that are that way. You hate men or you hate black men. Because at any time you got to say the N word ain't you hate black men. So until you get out of that hatred that you have for black men, I can't take relationship advice from you. None. You have none to offer me because you'll find something within yourself that you can't find anything good in a black man. You have issues. And I don't need those type issues giving me advice about a relationship because you're going to always find something negative. And let's face it, every relationship is going to have its bad days. You're going to have more bad days than good sometimes, but you got to learn how to appreciate it all together. Of course, if you always looking for something negative to happen, you better believe it's going to happen. And while you're looking for all the negative to happen, you done missed the whole world of positive because you're waiting on that one moment of negative so that you could be right.
Okay. No, seriously, I agree with each and every last thing you just ranted about, right? But I'm going to go the other direction. Let me tell you about these brothers. Believe it or not, a lot of men get relationship advice from their partners. They get relationship advice in the barbershop, just like some women get relationship advice in the salon. We in the barbershop doing the same thing. We fixing our cars, talking about relationships. And brothers will give you bad advice as well. Brothers will tell you that a girl is, she's too uppity for you. She's in a whole different weight class that you are. Brothers will tell you that too. They'll discourage you as well. And just like with women, every last one of them brothers that's discouraging you from trying to have a meaningful relationship with somebody based upon perceptions, what ends up happening is that these is the same brothers that's cheating on their wives. These is the same brothers that got 2 or 3 girlfriends, and every relationship that they ever had in their life just ends in just straight drama. You know what I mean? So much drama, these dudes should get an Academy Award type drama. These is the guys that's in your ear telling you what you can and you can't do and what you can and what you can't expect out of this woman and this relationship that you have not had yet. You see what I'm saying? You don't even know if it's going to work yet. You see what I'm saying? But these is the same brothers that'll do you like that. And there's a certain group of them that'll go try and holler at them as soon as they figure you out the picture. But that's a relationship question for another show. But I heard somebody ding in. Who just binged in?
I'm back from the depths.
That's okay. What you think? Have you been listening, or do we have to go through this whole thing again? I had to do it again with.
Just keep talking. Keep talking.
Well, and that was basically what my rant was too. Is that if I am going to be your guy, if I am somebody that you are even remotely interested in dating, having sex with, a relationship with, having coffee on Tuesday mornings on odd number days of the month, whatever it is that you think that we getting ready to be, let it be between me and you. Because if you follow somebody else's advice based upon how their relationships might have turned out, or what they've read in Madame Noir, or some of the rest of the different magazines that may be laying around in the beauty salon, if you're going to listen to them, you are never going to be successful in your relationships. That's man or woman. What you think, LTZ?
Keep talking. I'm just listening.
You know what? The bottom line is, unfortunately, and I can't speak on any other race and how their females interact with one another. I can only see, go off of what I see with black women. And it's not all black women, but we have to stop looking at what we've been through, what we've been put through. If I was to give people advice about some of the stuff I've been through relationship-wise, I'd be around here being negative Nancy. But what good does that do? That happened to me. I'm me, and whatever guy I was dealing with is them. Everybody isn't the same. Everybody's relationship isn't going to go the same. Just because I've been cheated on doesn't mean that the next chick, when she gets cheated on, he's gonna always cheat. Everything isn't the same. And at the end of the day, we only live once. Do what makes you happy. And this is what I always tell my friends, no matter what they're going through in their relationship. I'm not keeping you warm at night. I'm not going to tell you to leave your man. I don't do that. It's only one way I do that. If he beating on you, I'm going to tell you, hey, you know what? It's time for him to go. If he's doing something to the kids or something, it's time for him to go. Other than that, I can't keep you warm at night. I can't tell you to leave your man, and then you don't think we're going to be on the phone 3, 4 o'clock in the morning laughing and talking because that's what you're used to doing with your man. I can't replace him. And since I'm not trying to replace him, I'm not going to tell you to leave him because I don't want to, I don't need that in my life. No offense, I don't. I learned out of my single friends, they got all day to talk on the phone to me. I always want to talk on the phone with me. I might be in a relationship and can't talk on the phone with you, and now you upset. So now, get in your relationship and get booed up and be happy and build something. Don't spend the rest of your life single and lonely and miserable. And not saying that that's everybody. Don't get me wrong. Not saying everybody's that way. But after so long, you do become a bitter person because you like, dang, you looking at that couple that's been married for 15 years and say, dang, they still married and I ain't been married once. But you don't know what they're going through behind closed doors. And had you known what they was going through behind closed doors, you would have told her, girl, you need to leave him. I wouldn't be dealing with that. I wouldn't be putting up with that.
Wow.
It's only the strong ones that make it through the fire. Only the strong ones.
Yes, sir. Well, anyway, it is now 2:02, and we got started about 10 minutes after. But I want to kind of start winding it down. LT.
Yes, sir.
I need you to do me a favor.
Gotcha.
Give us the last 2 minutes. Positive minutes with LT.
Oh, wow. Positive.
Yeah.
Positive. The most positive thing I can say right about now is in the midst of all the turmoil going on around us, in the midst of all the headlines, highlighting and profiling us in all the negativity, all the nuances of our personal lives being put on the airwaves, care of TMZ and all the other pundit news channels. The most positive thing I can say is that the television lies to you. And if the television lies to you, it is missing the fact that we have a strength and a tenacity and a beauty about us. Yes, we are with our faults collectively and individually, but we have, and it is proven time and time again that there is a beauty and a strength in us and a resilience in us to survive no matter what comes our way, and that's at the individual and the collective level. So whatever the agenda is with the media right now, things unseen that we don't know, we don't understand who's pulling the strings of these shenanigans and this tomfoolery going on, we don't know. We can't pinpoint the origin and the source of all this. But one thing I can say to people is to draw upon the knowledge of who you are. If you don't have knowledge of who you are, find out who you are, because you have that ability too. You have that capacity to find out who you are. So all hope is not lost. For all the negative stories that we post on UI and Open, and we're asking questions and pulling our hair out, why can't we just get this right? At the end of the day, there is a fail-safe. You can do whatever it is that you need to do. You have it in you. It is there. It exists. It has been proven. It can be scientific. It can be, esoteric. It's spiritual. It is all there, people. We have this. We can do this. We can do whatever we need to do. Until you start to see it manifest in the collective, make it manifest every day in your life. Okay? Be a better mother. Try to be a better father. Be a better spouse, sibling, whatever it is. These little changes that you make every day in your life is one drop in the ocean, but it still adds to the whole, right? It still expands. So every little thing that we do every single day, find a new black business to support. Save a little bit of extra money. Find a new person to connect with and share information with. Little things. And they're going to add to the big, to the whole, and we are going to overcome. I know it. I believe it. And that's my positive word for the day.
Hear, hear. I agree wholeheartedly, 100%, absolutely with everything.
And let the church say.
Amen.
A to the men. I'm in ride, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah, we got this.
But that, that is a really, really, really good statement, though, on the real. Everybody has a place in this, And I just want to touch on one thing. Reaching out to like-minded individuals. Urban Intellectuals is one of the few groups that you'll find on Facebook where we are actually connected with each other. You might belong to another pro-black, group or what have you, but if you ever notice, they don't do the things that we do. They don't have multiple groups. They don't have individuals who reach out to each other outside of Facebook. E.T. might call me anytime. I've talked to a whole lot of my friends in person on the phone outside of Facebook because we've developed relationships like that. Call me at 3 o'clock in the morning and ask me a question. I'm up anyway. I might cuss you out, but you can call me. You feel what I'm saying? Other groups don't provide that. So what that ends up doing is that makes that bond between us deeper. And for every connection that LT may make on the other side of Dallas, whatever connection she may make, that strengthens me. Because that's a possible connection that I might make. And on that, Madison, he was supposed to send me the info about individuals who might be in need of somebody to help them with a household budget. I told him I was going to deal with this right quick, and I'll do this in the closing minutes, and we'll deal with it more maybe Monday. But if you know of a black business, a small black business, it could be a single entrepreneur. If you know about it, send me the info on it. Let's talk about it. This brother provides people with personal budgets for their household. One of the problems that we have as black people, forget about white people, the problems that we have as black people is we don't know how to save money. We spend what we have instead of putting something aside, for a rainy day. And I will be the first one to raise my hand. I'm like that. I'm getting better, but I'm like that. You know what I mean? What I cared about overdrafting an account wasn't shit. That was a low-interest loan to me. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, And those of us who know that the struggle is real, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all done been in the payday loan, situation. Y'all done bought the cars at, buy here, pay here, or as they call it in the South, tote to note places. Y'all done been there too.
Well,
you see what I'm saying? So we need those skills. We need someone to tell us, to teach us, so we can pass it on to our kids. Say, hey, look, don't live paycheck to paycheck like mommy and daddy. Always have something where, if something go wrong, you can afford to fix your car. If something go wrong, you can afford to fix the damage to your home that you own. You see what I'm saying? We need somebody to teach us those skills. And so we'll probably deal with that more Monday because by that time I should have more info on who this brother actually is and what he actually does. But I put that out there to anybody. Hit me and open this. Y'all know I'm around everybody, everywhere. You can hit whatever group that you happen to belong to. You can put something in there, and I'm going to see it. You see what I'm saying? So give me people who you know that provide. So don't give me no chicken joints. You see what I'm saying? Because, I can advertise for the local chicken joint, but what's going to be people are not going to fly to St. Louis to eat chicken. You see what I'm saying? Give me somebody that's actually providing something unique in the community. And that might be something that we might use to grow a bigger organization, to have more people have more ideas about things that they can produce and things and services that they can provide. Did I hear somebody beep in? Maybe somebody was beeping out. Anybody still with me?
I am. I'm with you.
Huh. I guess that might have been LT.
LT.
But, Erica?
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the hell to call you half the time.
I know. Because you know what? I don't like to go by Erica.
And the sad part about it is you even said it yourself. But that's
yeah, because you did.
I know. I'm
sure. So after then, it was like...
Ain't nobody going to pay no attention to it no way. By the time they figure it out, they'll be forgot about it. In any event, take us home. Tell us about donating to the cause and becoming a member of UI.
You know what I posted the other day or on the status that, what do you come to Urban Intellectual for? Is it to argue, to get, to complain, to get knowledge? What is your purpose or your business with UI? If you're coming to just vent, complain, and all of that, I understand. But that's not what UI is about. We're about making changes. We are an action group. Urban is an action word, and intellectual is an action word when it comes to urban intellectuals. We're about action. With that being said, we can't move on our hopes and dreams and wishes and good intentions and all of that. We're asking you to help build up the black community. All we're asking for is $24 a year, $2 a month. And with that $2, if you go to www.urbanintellectuals.com/members, you can see what the membership benefits are and what we plan to do with the $24. Or you could always inbox me. I got my number out there in cyber world, all of that. If you need to know, if you want to know what we're going to do with every inch of that $24 a year, I don't mind telling you. But again, the revolution won't be televised, but it has to be funded. If we're sacrificing time to take to the streets away from our family and friends, all we're asking you to do is sacrifice $24. That's it. www.urbanintellectual.com/membership or /donate if you want to donate to your heart's desire.
And I thank you for. We're gonna have to take that. So on days that you can't be here, I can just play that like the people walking down the hallway that play for only us but won't play in the room. But Jackson put in Patrick put in a ticket on it, so hopefully they'll fix that sometime this weekend by Monday's show. I want to thank everybody who listened in. I want to thank everybody who participated. Special thanks go out to UI Jane /Erica/ whatever her name is. Shouts out to LT. Shouts out to my guy Terry Banks, who only showed up for half the show, but you got to do what you got to do. And who else was on here tonight? Anybody else on here? I think that was it. I think that was it. But until Monday, I just want to bid y'all a good weekend from everybody at UI Daily Show. And as usual, leave us your comments on the discussion page, and be on the lookout for the actual podcast to be put on YouTube later on today. And what I especially want you guys to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to push the numbers on our YouTube channel as well. I'm not just the only one on there. There'll be other people on there producing all types of contents. We're trying to, we only 7 million votes behind Justin Bieber, and I think that we can overtake it. But everybody got to subscribe to the channel. And with that, bid adieu to everybody, and I'll see you guys Monday at 1-ish o'clock. still with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. I don't know if anybody's
Hello?
gonna come in. I don't know if anybody gonna come in for the debrief, but I asked in the room. Told him to come on.
I'm sorry. I have my two nieces. So I have a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So I'm definitely muted a lot. Hey, Money, I need your cup. You know how that go.
Oh, man, mine went to sleep. I know in the first half of this show, I know they was hearing them screaming in the background.
No, I didn't hear them. I could barely hear you.
Yeah, I got a different phone today because Mimi's actually working, and she's on the phones today. So she's on the phone instead of being that. I had to go out of the office. You know. Hold on for 1 second, okay?
Okay. Why?
Okay, I'm back. But yeah,
Oh, I don't know if Evie's gonna listen to it. So, you heard me?
Yeah, I mean, if she do,
Yeah, we gave her some good advice, but it was me and another one of our friends. We're going back and forth. My friend telling her, no, don't do it, don't date him, like he's a beneath you type thing. He gonna use you and still cheat on you.